And you know, of course, why the Liberals, like the Nationals, are panicking right now and talking about leadership. Pauline Hanson's One Nation is destroying them in the polls. 3 polls now say that One Nation is now more popular than the Liberals and Nationals combined, which has never happened before. And that said, the new Essential poll, though, has One Nation still behind the coalition, but only just. But more important, look now, One Nation in orange here, you see it's soaring, but it's at the expense, as you can see, of the vote of not just the coalition, but Labor. Labor in red, the coalition in blue, both now sinking. One Nation is taking votes from them both. And that tells me that Labor now is also suffering from a revolt of the working class that I suspect will only get more and more intense. Joining me is regular Bolt Report commentator and One Nation's biggest ever recruit, former Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce. Barnaby, great to see you again. Andrew Hastie is Liberal leader. That would be a bigger challenge for you, wouldn't it?
Look, Hastie's and Angus are good people, and so is Susan, to be frank. We'll let the Liberal Party sort it out for themselves. It's going to be very awkward for them, obviously. They all have to be in the same joint party. Well, they're no joint party room, actually, because there's no joint party anymore, just the Liberal Party room. And I suppose Nats will be doing their own thing. I'm not quite sure what that is. And what you'll see is everybody will be looking around the room, Andrew, to counting the numbers. I suppose the logical way for Angus and Andrew to work this out is to say, well, these are my numbers, show us yours. And those with the most numbers wins. In the meantime, Susan's there. I don't mind Susan, but it'd be ridiculous to say that the challenge is not on. It obviously is. And you've got to be honest in these things. And that will continue on till the boil is lanced. And it gets lanced when there's a spill. And that's when you can tell exactly where it is. It's unfair to the leader because even if it's close, the leader's gone. And therefore, I presume what you're going to see is a change. If I had to take a bet, I'd probably put it on Hastie, to be honest.
You prefer Hastie, but prefer because you think you beat him easier or because you think it's better for the country?
No, I don't. It's not a case of preferring, actually, Andrew. It's a case of just, it's a gut feel and knowing enough about the parliament to, I don't have to like a horse personally to say it's going to win the cup. I can just say that horse, I know.
All right, you meant prefer as in a horse, right?
Yeah, okay. I don't prefer horses. I just go to races.
I forgot that you're talking betting parlance. The Prime Minister and other Labor figures today attacking Hastie and Taylor for discussing the leadership of the Liberals on the day of the funeral of former Liberal MP Katie Allen. Did you also think it was wrong, or just this is Labor playing the stupid politics?
Well, I think quite obviously what people are going to be worried about out there is not the meeting of Andrew Hastie and Angus Taylor and others. It's the meeting of the Reserve Bank and what's going to happen to their interest rates. Because it looks like interest rates are on the way up again, and that means people are going to be poorer again. And that's on the back of being told, hooray, hallelujah, you're going to get a further 25% increase in your power bills. That's the discussion that actually is on everybody's minds, not a discussion that's happening in the suburbs of Melbourne. I imagine Katie Allen, who I knew is a good lady, she would understand that better than anybody else. If you're going to have try and get 3 politicians together and see if they don't start talking about who the next leader is going to be.
Absolutely. Barnaby, you mentioned the interest rate rise yesterday, which not the interest rate, the inflation rise yesterday, which will almost certainly lead to a rise in interest rates probably as early as next week. If not next week, then probably the next Reserve Bank meeting after that. I had to laugh at the hide of Treasurer Jim Chalmers. Last year, when inflation fell, Chalmers took the credit. Here he is.
Yeah.
And we've been able to make this stunning progress on inflation. We have played a helpful role in the fight against inflation.
But yesterday, when we learned inflation was now rising, Chalmers refused to take the blame. Here he is, Barnaby.
I don't think that any of that could be objectively attributed to government spending or the budget position.
Is that going to wash, Barnaby Joyce?
No, it's one of these things that they're not fooling anybody. Even Labor's polling's down to 32%. That's critical. It's the people aren't foolish. They realise all the crazy things they've done, intermittent power, the vagaries of that, spending not on balance sheet items, but basically on profit and loss items, and bolstering up your bureaucracy at the expense of substantive investments that actually drive the economy forward. And not only a hesitancy, but an absolute almost a pathology against things such as dams and hard infrastructure such as freight rail. These are the sort of things that build a balance sheet. But he's the treasurer, but he's Dr. Chalmers of political science. He's very good at the politics, very, very good at the politics, and very, very bad at the economics. And if it's just a reality. We're going to see it. We've seen an incredible reduction in people's standards of living. Yeah, they talk about, oh, well, we haven't had a recession because we brought in the people. But per person, we've all become poorer. And we've become poorer under Labor. And we're going to continue to become poorer until there's a seismic shift and to a sense of sanity in exactly what you're spending your money on. If they don't have the ticket to go through such things as the NDIS, to go through such things as the profligate spending on climate issues. They don't have the ticket to deal with those issues. One of the biggest, when we looked at the growth of spending in the economy or the growth of employment and productivity assets, it's hard to judge because a lot of it's in the NDIS sector. I mean, so that's just taking your taxes and spending on another form of government spending. Doesn't actually grow the economy.